Hi, I'm live again. I was live this morning and it turns out that that video has no sound. And so I'll do it again. I'll talk about how you can break through your own self-sabotage, if you like, or your blocks to caring for yourself so that you can find a beautiful, natural way of caring and embracing yourself. So that's the topic of this week, self-care. So this is actually part of my series, my Monday, Wednesday and Friday live talks, usually in the morning, 9 a.m. And because the sound suddenly disappeared in the video I did this morning, I might have mentioned a word that the algorithm didn't like or something. So because of that, those videos are actually useless because there's nothing to be heard. So let me try again, and hopefully I will reach some of you who will benefit from this. I'm Emma Rowena. I'm a performer and musician, but I'm also an intuitive reader and healer. And in my journey, I have learned a lot about myself, my own life, about healing myself, but also about helping other people to heal and to release their blocks, to come closer to themselves and start to rise in alignment with who they really are. And what happens when we start to do that is quite beautiful, because you start to make choices that align with who you are, with your values, your passions, and that in turn confirms your self-confidence and your worth, because we are all worthy. We all have a powerful guiding light way behind all the blocks and all the layers that we've been taught and told through our lives that contain this power of just being love, of being worthy. It's just a state of being. It's not something you need to deserve. It's your nature. Now, as I said earlier, anybody who has told you through the years that you are not worthy, that you're not enough, you're not good enough, there's something wrong with you, you're not pretty enough, you're not skinny enough or big enough, or whatever it is, whether they told you to your face in plain words, whether it's been more subtle, whether it's from your carers or from peers in school or from teachers, whatever, whether it's just because you haven't received the love and compassion and embrace that you needed when you asked for it, or even just needed it. For some reason, you have maybe been told that you are not worthy, and this is all a lie. Now I'm going to repeat this, because this is very profound. It's a very deep awareness, and it's a very impactful awareness. Everything that you've been told about not being enough, not being worthy, not being beautiful, not being of value to the world or to the people around you, they have told you a lie. Not because they meant to necessarily, and not because they wanted to hurt you necessarily, but because they did not know how to do it otherwise. Because they themselves, usually people act from their own pain when they cause other people pain or lack of love. So, again, I'll say it again. Every sentence, every experience, every sentiment, every lesson that you've been taught that have told you that you're not worthy is a lie. Because behind all those layers of self-doubt, of criticism, of fear, of worry, of not being enough, behind all that is your essence, your seed of being. And just by being, you are worthy. You are love. So even if you don't understand this or know this or believe this, imagine. Use your imagination. It's a very, very powerful instrument to connect to your intuition, to your subconscious, to your soul. Use your imagination and imagine that there is this speck of light, this seed, this golden drop, whatever it appears as to you. Maybe a color, maybe just a little something undefined, but a small space in there. And I keep pointing to the heart center because to me that's where we reside. That's where our starting point as humans resides, in our bodies. And if it feels like somewhere else for you, that's fine. Just imagine that you know that behind all these layers, you don't even have to imagine it in your body. Just picture all these layers of teachings that you had and you've been given and shown. And behind all that, like a treasure, way, way behind all those layers, is your essence, your seed. And in that seed is simply being you, being worthy, being love. Now, the reason I am getting into this now, the reason I'm pointing this out so adamantly is because self-care is the topic of this week. Now, if you believe that you are not worthy, you are not going to be caring for yourself very well. You're probably going to make choices that go the other way, that confirm that you're not worthy. And you're going to attract people that confirm this. And you're going to attract events that confirm this. And you will not understand why you're not loved, why you cannot feel happy. Because everything is confirming that you do not deserve it. But if you start connecting to this space and start listening and tuning in and giving the attention to the possibility that there is value in there behind all that, then you will start turning up as that. You will start eventually, for some people it happens quickly, some people it takes a bit longer, for some people it takes some time of breaking through all the layers in order to connect to that essence. But if you give it attention, it starts to glow and it will start to push forward. Your essence, your nature, your intuition, your subconscious, your soul will not stop until it's broken through the minute you start acknowledging that it might be so. And when you start breaking through in your sense of worth, you will start acting in a way that brings care to yourself. This is the deep and profound end of the continuum of caring for yourself. Now you have the other end, which is to me a little bit more on the outside, but that too can confirm your worth. So when we hear that we need to eat healthy, and there are all kinds of schools about this, so I'm not even going to get into that. You need to choose for yourself. But eating sort of natural food, healthy vegetables, that's we all can agree on. So when everybody says that you have to eat healthy, you need to exercise. We need to sleep well. We should be in good relations. All this, that's all fine. And practicing that and pampering yourself to a spa or to a lovely evening out with friends, or beautiful, beautiful gifts to yourself that will send a message to you that you are worthy. So that too can help you to reach into that deep, deep ingrained truth and nature of yourself being worthy. So yes, focus on eating healthy, focus on practicing and exercising. But if you cannot continue, or if it's not sustainable for you, if you break your diet or if you stop exercising, don't beat yourself up, because there is a reason. It's because you have been told that you're not worthy of this strength, this health, this feeling good, this beautiful presence that you are, of radiating in the way that you can the moment you start taking care of yourself. So if you combine that with the connection, with imagining that you have this beautiful speck of light in you, that is your truth, that is behind everything, that knows, that just is. And again, use your imagination, visualization. Such a powerful tool. I use it all the time, especially when I work with clients, but also for my own healing. Whenever I have any questions, I always look for the images, and there's so much information in that. So that's my big revelation today, if you like, or big tool that I'll share with you, is to imagine that you have this beautiful space way behind everything that is your truth. It's your essence. And it is your light. And it is the space from which you will start to look after yourself in the most beautiful way. But there are other three sort of also more, or should I say, practical approaches to this, in addition to trying the diets and the exercises. Again, if you cannot go through with them, it is no fault of yours. It is because you have been told that that's not what you're worthy of. So give yourself some slack there. Be kind to yourself. That's another act of love, self-love. But there are three parts of your being that I would like to bring focus to now. And one is your body, our physical expression. And so many people harbor such a lot of loathing and aggression and frustration and rejection towards their bodies. Your body has carried you through this life until now. Maybe there's been pain, maybe there's been illnesses, maybe it doesn't matter. You're still here. You breathe, you eat, you feel, and you move. And you're alive because of your body. So we need to give our body some gratitude and give it some slack for really trying its best and doing its best. And your body really is doing its best. But you have been given so many troublesome scenarios probably in your life that and emotions that you haven't been able to deal with. And they get stuck in the body, and we have tensions. And then things that the flow, the energy is not allowed to do what it's supposed to do for your body. So there are all kinds of reasons why things can happen in your body. But one thing you can do is embrace it. Thank you. Thank you, hands, for holding things for me. Thank you, feet, for taking the steps for me. Thank you, back, for holding me. Now, I've had prolapse in my back. It was not holding me very well at all until I started to allow it to carry me more freely, and my back is so much better. There are all kinds of techniques. We won't get into the details of these techniques, but just simply embracing your body is an act of self-love and self-care, and it will give your body this beautiful sensation of being valuable. And as your body is part of you and your expression, that means you give yourself the acknowledgement of being valuable. And when we talk about food, healthy food, as part of the taking care of the body and your soul and your emotions, a lot of people have shown this. When you start acknowledging your body's worth, you will naturally start to eat better food. But you are also able to enjoy the lush things that you usually think are forbidden in a healthy diet, like a piece of chocolate. Enjoy it, because the guilt that comes with eating bad food is just as bad for your body as the actual bad food. But the whole point here is that the moment you start caring for yourself and acknowledging and communicating with your body, you will start caring for it naturally. You will eat more of the healthy food, and then you can relax and have that piece of chocolate or cake or whatever in between. Now, there are some people who have ailments that do not allow them to do that. That's a different matter. I'm talking about in general now for most of us. Now, the other place or space of caring that I invite you to bring attention to is your emotions. I have said this many times before. Your emotions is part of your language. Yes, they confirm your thoughts. So shifting your mind will also shift your emotional expression to a certain degree. But we all have moments when we will feel anger and sadness. We will feel joy and laughter. We will feel depressed sometimes. Somebody said depressed is depressed emotions. So in your body, when things are not allowed to flow, they will become dense in your body. That's a perspective that might hold some truth. But the point here is that if you acknowledge your emotions, whatever they may be, if you're angry, rather than lashing out at somebody, because your anger is yours. So no matter what the other person has done, maybe somebody, or the situation, it might have been something that really annoys you or was unfair to you or something, but your anger is still yours. And the only thing that you can do, of course, you can cause it, you can contribute, or you can enhance the conflict or whatever with your anger, lashing out. But for yourself, that doesn't help, and it doesn't help the relationship. What helps you is to acknowledge the anger for yourself, saying, I am so angry now. And yes, express it, but express it for yourself, acknowledging your anger. If you're sad or grieving, acknowledge the sadness. Yes, I feel terrible. I feel so sad. And that's when you might want to ask for a hug as well, because asking for a hug and embrace when you need it is an expression of self-care and self-worth, self-love. But when you allow these emotions to be acknowledged, to be expressed, acknowledging that that's part of your language, part of your reaction to this situation, no matter what the background. It might be because you have a history of something that's been triggered in a situation and therefore you're angry. It doesn't matter. It's still your anger. And you're allowed to acknowledge, to know, to feel that anger, as long as you don't harm anyone. You're allowed to feel that grief, as long as it doesn't become a crutch for not acting out. And that it usually becomes that because you do not allow it to flow. Our emotions are there as expressions of things we are experiencing, but they can be released. You can let them flow, acknowledge, accept, release. The body, acknowledge, accept, embrace. And then there's the last dimension to our humanness, which is, to me, the spirituality or the center, the intuition, the psyche, if you like. It's all connected, but different perspectives on that too. But I find that the moment you start acknowledging that you have an inner life or world, whether you find it as a connection to something greater, as I do, or whether you just acknowledge it to be a part of your psyche or psychology, something within you, acknowledging this too is an act of self-love and self-care. And that means listening to your intuition. If you get a gut feeling about something, listen to it. Ask yourself, what is that feeling? What does it mean? Not everybody can connect to this, but the more you listen to it, the more in tune you will be with your intuition. But the other expressions for this inner world is your dreams and your visions, your hopes for yourself and your future. And any dream you have comes from an inspiration of something. And to me, any dream or vision that comes to me and that I see in other people, they have a spark of truth in them, a possibility, an opportunity. And when you start tuning into and acknowledging your visions and dreams and exploring them and listening and giving them focus, you acknowledge yourself. So that is also a very powerful expression of self-care, of self-love. And I will repeat, when you start acknowledging yourself, your expression, emotional, your physical expression, your inner language, inner visions, images, then you are acting more and more in tune with your own value as a human being, simply because you're giving yourself the the opportunity to be seen and heard. And when we talk about self-care, the only person that you're going to be living with for all your life, from day one until the end, every step of the way, ups and downs, is you. And if you make that you your own best carer and friend, you can live your life always safe, because you've got yourself, but also with enough love. You'll get what you need. I know we don't always want to hear that we have to love ourselves first, but it's actually where the power is. And so, and you don't have to try and understand how to love yourself. Just explore. Come closer to yourself. What's your language? What's your emotion? What's your body doing for you? What's it done for you? Positively. Give focus and attention to the strengths, to your gifts, and you will start to see your own worth, and you will start to take those actions that you need in order to really take care of yourself, and you will really enjoy that bath. I'm not very keen on hot baths. I like to go in the cold sea, whatever works for you, but you will indulge beautifully because you know that just by being you, you're worthy of that care and that moment to yourself, or just chilling or relaxing or inviting your friends over or enjoying that extra piece of, I don't know, I love on the Sunday mornings a croissant with my café au lait, for instance. It's part of my caring for myself, but I generally like to eat healthy because I want to feel good. So, and because I know that my body deserves it and wants it. And then, yes, embrace each other. Embrace yourself. And when you embrace somebody else, you also embrace yourself, because an embrace is a two-way thing, right? When you hug somebody, when you support them, it's a meeting. That's another self-care. So you're not always giving, you're also receiving, holding your child, holding your friend, your lover, whatever it is. Then I will finish this second video of the day. Actually, it was quite good. I'm going to share this because I discovered just recently now that the video I did this morning had no sound suddenly. I don't know why. Probably something in Facebook, algorithm or something. But what I discovered is that this morning I actually didn't feel very good. I felt sort of awkward, and I said some things that I wasn't, I was a bit on the wrong track, I felt. And this feels better. So I had the opportunity to do this, to strengthen these thoughts and expressions, and to clarify and share them again. And that means also strengthening the information for myself. So yes, whoever you are that's been watching this far, I applaud you. We don't watch long videos like this in our time, but I do appreciate it very much, and I hope it's been valuable for you. Now we'll do the 3 deep breaths at the end that I usually do, and a little centering. So what you do when you breathe in deeply, whether with your eyes open or closed, imagine that you're pulling in all your own energy, all that's you, into the center of this little speck of gold or light or crystal or color, whatever it is that is in your heart, behind everything. Breathe into that. And as you breathe out, allow that to seep down through to your hip area, anchoring your light, yourself. Breathe in again. Breathe in more, like you're sucking in all your energy into yourself. Breathe it into this essence, this center of yours. And as you breathe out, allow it to sink into your hips. One last breath, and this time we'll anchor it down through your feet into the ground. Breathe in. Everything that's you, everything that's yours, that you want to gather and center yourself with, bring it into the center of your being, this speck of gold or seed in you, behind everything. And as you breathe out, feel it seeping down through your hips, through your legs, all the way through to your feet and down into the ground, grounding you in this reality of you are worthy. And you will take care of yourself because you are worthy. Because you're you. And then bring your attention to the heart. See if you can explore and feel what this speck of light in there, this essence of yours, really feels like. See if you can find it. Can you imagine? If you can't feel it, don't worry about it. You'll get there. It's started. If you've started the intention of connecting to your essence, it will break through. It's not going to be stopped. So just imagine that you can feel it. Imagine you can feel your essence, your color, your center, this base of yours that is just pure being, that is so worthy, but just because you are. And when you do that, imagine giving thanks to that center of yours that's not giving up you because you're here. Okay. Wish you a beautiful day. Thank you for tuning in. Take care and many blessings.